get ready because on September 7th, 2025, the night sky is putting on an absolutely incredible show. A spectacular total lunar eclipse is on its way, and in this explainer, we're going to break down the what, the why, and exactly how you can see it for yourself. So let's dive right in.
And no, that's not from some sci-fi movie. It's exactly what millions of us all across the planet are going to witness. We'll see the full moon completely transform, taking on this coppery reddish glow that has just fascinated people for centuries.
Okay, so you've probably heard this called a blood moon, right? And while it sounds super dramatic, it's not actually an official scientific term. It's really just the popular, catchy name for a total lunar eclipse. And that happens when everything lines up just perfectly. The sun, the earth, and the moon, with our planet sitting smack dab in the middle.
All right, so to really get a handle on this, we've got to understand what's physically happening up there. What is actually creating this amazing celestial sight?
Well, just like you, the Earth casts a shadow out into space. But it's not just one big blob of darkness. It actually has two parts. There's a faint, kind of fuzzy outer shadow called the penumbra, and then there's a much darker central part, the umbra. And that dark inner core, well, that's where the real show is.
The real magic, that moment the moon turns red, happens when it passes entirely into that dark umbra. It gets completely cut off from any direct sunlight, fully swallowed by the deepest part of Earth's shadow. This is the moment astronomers call totality.
But wait a minute, this brings up a really good question. If the moon is completely in shadow, shouldn't it just disappear? Why doesn't it just go black? Why red? This is where the science gets really cool.
Okay, so let's follow a beam of sunlight. As Earth gets in the way, most of the light is blocked, obviously. But some of that light just grazes the edge of our planet, and it has to pass through our atmosphere. Now think of our atmosphere as a giant filter. It scatters all the short blue wavelengths of light away, but the longer red wavelengths, they punch right on through, get bent or refracted, and end up focused right onto the moon's surface. You know, here's my absolute favorite way to picture this. If you were an astronaut standing on the moon during the eclipse, you'd look up and see the Earth as a dark circle blocking the sun, but it wouldn't be totally black. All around the edge of our planet, you'd see this brilliant, fiery red ring. And you know what that ring is? It's the light from every single sunrise and every single sunset happening on Earth at that exact moment, all being projected onto the moon at once. How incredible is that?
Now, this whole effect has a name. It's called Rayleigh scattering, and you actually see it in action every single day. It is the very same reason our sky looks blue, because that blue light gets scattered all over the place, and why our sunsets look so red, because only those long red wavelengths make it through the thick atmosphere to your eyes.
All right, enough theory. Let's get down to the good stuff. How can you actually make sure you don't miss this? Here is your guide to watching the September 2025 eclipse. Okay, get your calendars ready. So the very faint early stage begins around 1528 UTC. But the part you really don't want to miss, totality, when the moon goes full-on red, that kicks off at 1830 UTC. And you'll get more than an hour of that amazing red glow before everything wraps up around 2155 UTC. So yeah, it's a whole evening's event.
Now, if you're watching from the UK or parts of Europe, listen up, because you are in for a serious treat. It's something called a moonrise in totality. And what that means is the moon will actually be rising up over the horizon already fully eclipsed and glowing red. It's going to look huge, atmospheric, and just unbelievably dramatic. It's a rare sight, so definitely plan ahead for that one.
And get this, a whopping 85% of the entire world's population can witness this event. That is just staggering. See, unlike a solar eclipse, which follows a really narrow path, a lunar eclipse is visible from the entire night side of Earth. So just think about it. People all across Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia will be looking up at the very same red moon. It's this incredible shared experience for humanity.
So, what are the pro tips for the best view? It's pretty simple, actually. First, try to get away from bright city lights if you can. The darker your sky, the more that red color will pop. You'll want a nice, clear view of the eastern horizon. And of course, the best part? No special glasses are needed. Unlike a solar eclipse, this is 100% safe to just watch. So grab a chair, maybe a blanket, and just settle in for the show.
So while you absolutely don't need any special equipment, I gotta tell you, a simple pair of binoculars can completely transform the experience. Let's talk about how you can seriously level up your view.
When it comes to binoculars, you really have a basic choice: portability or power. A smaller handheld pair is awesome because you can just grab them and go, and you get this beautiful wide view of the red moon hanging there among the stars. But if you are craving that incredible up-close detail, you're going to want more powerful binoculars. And that almost always means you'll need a tripod to keep the view steady.
Let's make that a little more concrete. Think of a good pair of 10 by 42 binoculars. They're perfect for throwing in a backpack and hiking to a great viewing spot. You'll get a spectacular view. But something like a big 20 by 80 model on a tripod, oh man. Now you're not just seeing a red moon, you're exploring a red world. You'll see the details of the craters and the mountain ranges, all bathed in that eerie, coppery light. It takes the view from spectacular to absolutely breathtaking.
Of course, when we look up at this, we're not the first. We're part of a tradition that goes back thousands of years. For as long as people have been around, they've been looking up at the same exact site, trying to make sense of it all. And that led to some incredible stories.
I mean, put yourself in their shoes. Without the science of orbital mechanics, what would you think? For the Incas and Mayans, it looked like a celestial jaguar was taking a bite out of the moon. Ancient Egyptians imagined a great sow swallowing it whole. And in many Chinese cultures, it was a dragon. These weren't just stories, they were powerful attempts to explain a terrifying and truly awe-inspiring event. But the eclipse wasn't just a source of myth, it was also a source of incredible knowledge. Over 2,000 years ago, the Greek philosopher Aristotle was watching one of these unfold, and he noticed something brilliant. He saw that the Earth's shadow on the moon was always curved, a perfect arc, and he realized that there's only one shape that always casts a circular shadow no matter how you turn it, a sphere. He used the eclipse to help prove our planet was round. Just amazing.
So on September 7th, 2025, when you look up, you're connecting with everyone who has looked up before you, from ancient mythmakers to early scientists. It's a powerful reminder of our place in the cosmos and our long journey to understand it. So the only question left is, what will you see? An omen, a myth, or a marvel of physics?